listeners, Bingkai Karya is back, your favorite channel that discuss songs, musicians, and the stories behind them. And with me again, Lucy. Today, our special guest is someone with, I could say, has a soulful voice, heartfelt lyrics, and also timeless sound. He's a British R&B and soul pop, and with over 450 million streams worldwide. And listeners, his music has earned support from Victoria Jane, that's so many, Elton John's Rocket Hour, Digitarget, and Jamie Cullum. And not to mention, his live performance have captivated audiences at festivals, including Cross the Tracks, El Dorado, Reaper Band, and the Great Escape Festival, alongside sold-out headline shows at London's Lafayette, Colors, Haxton, and Jazz Cafe. Wow, that's a lot, Sam.
Glad
And Sam, you experienced full streaming success across Southeast Asia, right? With significant growth in Indonesia, my country,
yeah,
Thailand,
yeah,
Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines. So you will have a tour in 2026. Is that true?
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Hopefully I can make it happen. It's being planned at the moment. So, yeah, I'm really desperate to get out and to see you. Um, so yeah, I'm really hoping to make it happen.
Yeah. You have to make it happen because I really want to sing along the song Voice Notes.
Well, I appreciate that.
I
I hope
really
there's other
like
people
the
that feel the same.
song. I
Oh,
really
I'm
like the
glad. I'm glad.
song.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
know, when I talk about you have a kind of heartfelt lyrics, Voice Notes is the proof. I
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
really want to talk more about Voice Notes, but I also want to get to know you, Sam. You came
Sure.
from Hastings. You said it's the southern part of England, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
seaside town.
Yes.
Um, I want to know what shapes your character in music. Is it because you grew up in a town surrounded by nature? That's why you have a soulful voice?
It's a good question. I think it probably started when I was really young, and
Mm.
my parents uh, enjoyed listening to soul music. There was always like Sade on, or Seal, or yeah, various kind of Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. Huge, lots of Michael Jackson in the household. So yeah, I was exposed to soulful music from a young age, and I kind of got obsessed with. My mum bought a Michael Jackson's greatest hits on videotape on VHS, and with all his music videos, and I used to watch that on repeat when I must have been about 5 or 6, and it kind of I've carried that memory with me, and I think a lot of my sound kind of is inspired by those early years. And then when I was 11 or 12, I started to listen to more modern artists from the time, maybe John Legend, Alicia Keys. Um, and then later on, I discovered more like neo soul, like D'Angelo, Erica Badu. Um, and that really formed the basis for my writing.
Wow, you started from really young age, right? That's why.
Yeah, it's always been with me, I think. And yeah, I'm definitely inspired by nature and the kind of natural world. That's a big part of my creativity. Um, and I maybe discovered that later on, but yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from being in nature as well.
So music for you is becomes so personal then.
Yeah, yeah, I can't imagine what my life would be like without music in it because it's been there the whole time for me. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. When I listen to voice notes, the title itself, voice notes, um, It is something that has a very personal identity, you know. It's like we can listen to the voice of someone, someone that is close to us, and you then put voice note as the title of the song. I think that's a brilliant title of the song,
Oh,
Sam.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, like listening back to the old voice messages. What inspired you to turn that feeling into the song? Is there any special moment in your life that suddenly, oh,
Well,
voice notes?
well, I tell you what, it wasn't a specific moment, but it was when we started writing it. I worked with a very good friend of mine and someone that I worked on a lot of the album with. He's called Phairo, is his artist name.
Mhm.
And I
Very
started the
yes.
song coming up with the melody, the chorus melody on the piano. Um, and then we built the chords around that and started to kind of play with some vocal melodies. And it sounded like an old jazz song, like an old jazz
Mhm.
song from the 50s or something.
Mhm.
Um, and I wanted to contrast that with something modern and new. And voice notes, leaving each other voice notes is such a kind of modern thing that we do.
Mhm.
And a lot of us communicate solely with voice notes these days. We don't even send texts anymore. We send each other voice notes. So you end up having this whole conversation over years of conversation back and forth. And so
Mhm.
if someone close to you, you're no longer close to them, you have all of these memories. And I found like listening through them and it feels like you're still close to them for
Mhm.
that short time. And I thought that was beautiful and heartbreaking and it kind of suited the kind of feel of the music that we started. So that's how voice notes came about.
Yeah, it's beautiful and also heartbreaking sometimes.
Mm,
And you know, listeners, you have to listen to voice notes because there's an interesting part in the beginning of the song. You know, the notification, you put
mm,
notification of the voice notes in the beginning
yeah.
of the song. Somehow it activate a part of our personal memory in our brain when we, oh, there's the voice notes. You really activate
Yeah.
that kind of memory. Did you get
Yeah.
the
I was hoping to do so.
idea? Did you get the
Yeah.
idea before creating the song or in the process of making the song or after?
I think as soon as we realized we were talking about voice notes,
Oh.
Vero and I decided that we had to have some sort of voice note sound in there. And so we thought the best place for that is in the beginning to kind of
Mhm.
get you really in the feeling of leaving a voice note. And we actually played the intro, the piano through a phone and recorded it with
Mm.
another phone and then put that into the computer and that's how it so it's actually really from a phone speaker which it makes it feel a little bit more authentic.
I'm really glad that you came up with the idea of putting the notification sound in the beginning of the song. I really like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, good.
And when I talk about the heartfelt lyrics, voice notes also have it. You know, I like the lyrics, I hold my phone to keep you close.
Hmm.
Did you also write it? You said that you write it with your friends, Pyra,
Mm. Yeah.
right? Did you also write it at night with a dim light, just like in the video in the YouTube channel?
We wrote it over probably a few days. I seem to remember. So, yeah, I mean, there were times where we were writing in the evening as well, and with low light, and to really get in the headspace. But yeah, we were writing at all times of day. It takes me a long time to write music in general. I'm quite a
Mm.
perfectionist, so it's quite rare that I will write a song all completely in like a few hours. So most songs that I've made, including a lot on the upcoming album, I labored over for days and weeks. And hopefully you can hear that with the level of care and love that's gone into it. But yeah, definitely had some moments where it was in the evening and we were writing the lyrics. Yeah.
Right. Well, Sam, and also for listeners, voice notes becomes one of the songs in your upcoming album, by the way. Speak,
Yes,
right? It will be released in October 3rd.
yes, yeah, which is actually isn't very far away now. It's it's very close.
Yes, it's very close. It's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, week and a half. Yeah.
And there's also something special about the process of making this album. You choose to retreat to a cabin in the woods while creating this album, right? Was
Yeah.
that more about escaping the noise of the world? You come back to nature, or maybe escaping something inside yourself?
Wow. I think yeah, I try and get to the cabin as often as I can. So I built this cabin in the woods with a couple of friends
Wow.
during the making of my first album, Breathe,
Mm.
and and so now it's kind of a retreat for me. And often somewhere I'll go to kind of get out my own head. I find writing and being a musician and a songwriter, you're often so caught up with your own thoughts and inside your own head. And um, sometimes I crave getting outside, getting out of the studio, and just kind of trying to be present and in nature. And um, I find the woods to be both a peaceful place and also a place where there's so much life, so much happening, and it kind of is a great tool for me to practice being present and not getting so caught up in my own thoughts. And yeah, I have a little stove down there. I'll make a cup of tea. I'll sit down there, maybe read a book. I'm not too good at reading books, but I'll try. And um, and yeah, and I've made some music down there as well. I have occasionally taken a little studio set up and put it up there. But yeah, in general, it's a place for me to kind of get out my own head for a little while.
Wow. Wow. There will be 12 tracks in Speak album, and Voice Notes is the 11th track, if I'm not mistaken, right? What is the Speak album that you create in the wood talk about? Is it about love, heartbreak, acceptance, or moving on? Can you tell us, Sam?
Yeah, there's a bit of everything really. Um, but the kind of main theme of the album is uh, it was written during a time where I felt quite stagnant
Mm,
in my life musically and kind of personally, and I felt like um the world was standing still, but just for me. And there was yeah, I kind of felt like I was longing for some progression in life and some meaning and um yeah, trying to navigate that. Uh so the general theme of the album comes down to that feeling. Uh, and there's moments of desperation, love, heartbreak, um, but yeah, stagnation. And it
mm,
was how I kind of navigated dealing with that and that chapter of my life. And the album in general, it plays in story order. So there is a theme that kind of there's a beginning, middle, and end, if you know what I mean. And it ends with a feeling of acceptance and moving on. Um, so yeah, it's quite a personal album for me, and definitely, although there's a level of there is some story writing in there. There's some things that are based on my experience, but more fictionalized. There's a general feeling of my like authenticity in there, and yeah, and it's been quite a cathartic experience.
wow. Wow. So you create this album when you feel kind of stagnancy in life, right?
Mm.
My next question, Sam. How does it feel after you finish creating all the songs in that album? Finally.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a relief. It took a long time to write. So I put out my first album in June 2021. So it
Mm,
was a long period to get to here. When I finished the first album, I felt like I'd used up all of my creativity, and that's when I decided to finish building the cabin in the woods. So I took a couple of months out to do that. And then I slowly started to branch out, and I went to LA and New York and I did some writing over there. And then long periods where I felt like nothing was happening and I wasn't progressing and I was finding it very difficult to
mm,
write. But slowly over time, I navigated my way through that, and then I took a bunch of ideas that I had and worked on them with Phairo, and we
mm,
wrestled it into shape and made it into a cohesive project. Um, and yeah, when we got the masters back and properly sat down and had a listen, that was an incredible feeling and relief and joy. And I'm so happy with how it's turned out. Um, and so it's already successful in my eyes because I think it's probably the best project I've made so far.
mhm. And that's also interesting part when you always say that you work with Phairo, your friends, right?
Mm.
Uh-huh. I want to know, this is your personal um art, personal work, and you work with your friend, with another person. How is the process? How is the process? I mean, how did you work together? The
Mm.
portion and everything. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
well, some of the songs I started on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of them I started with other people, like when I went to LA and New York. But I do find working with other people, especially people that I trust musically,
Mm,
um, to be um, I love to do it because it enables me to unlock sides of my songwriting that I
mhm,
wouldn't ordinarily have access to because I find one of the things when I'm creating on my own, I tend to create lots of ideas, lots of melodies, and
mhm,
I get a little bit lost in what is the right way to move forward with it. And not
mhm,
always, but sometimes. And so to have someone there to kind of help channel these ideas that I have and make them into something cohesive is is invaluable. And also, I would say that Phairo, not that I wrote everything with Phairo, but a good chunk of the album I wrote and produced
mhm,
with him.
mhm,
Um, I trust him so much that our sounds have almost became it's become one thing. We've worked so much over the past few years that his sound becomes intertwined with mine, and it creates something unique and something it wouldn't the album wouldn't sound the way it does without his input.
mhm,
And I don't find it easy to work with people in that way because I'm quite perfectionist and I have a vision. And
mhm,
so when I find someone like Phairo, and there's very few of them, um, I
mhm,
I love to work with them as much as possible. So I keep my team very small,
mm.
and they help realize what's in my head, basically, which is it means everything.
That's good.
Mm.
Wow. You said that you are very perfectionist person, right? And
Yes.
during those days in the cabin, was there a moment that felt especially vulnerable for you?
Um, yes. I would say not all of my vulnerable moments and experiences have been in the cabin. I kind of go there as a retreat to get away from all of the feelings that I'm feeling anyway. It's kind of a peace haven for me, the cabin,
Mm,
right? Um, and so there'll be times where I'm there quite often, and times there'll be 2 months, 3 months go by where I don't go there. But it's always holds a very special place for me, and yeah, it's a very dear place and somewhere I can go and um, be present, as I say. But I'd say there is definitely I've definitely had moments of vulnerability during the writing process, moments where I've doubted my abilities. Sometimes where I felt like finishing the album was impossible. And I think part of being an artist, a modern artist, is the how available it is to compare yourself to other artists, and other people around you with social media. Everyone's always showing their best, right? Their best side of themselves and their most successful side of themselves. So it's easy to get caught up in that, especially if you're in a place where you're finding it difficult to be creative and see all these people doing amazing things and not feel like you're um, uh, not as not up to the job. But
mm,
I try and counter that with I try and remember the successes that I have, and
mm,
it's a very difficult thing. You have to practice appreciating your own successes, right? It's very easy to put yourself down, and I think that's true of everyone, really. It just so happens that it's especially easy to do in the creative industries, I find. So yeah, I definitely had moments of vulnerability, and navigating that was has all been kind of documented on this album. So I think you'll be able to hear that when you listen through.
yeah, and finally you've made it. And Speak album will be released. Will be released 2 weeks from now, like
Yeah.
October 3rd. The listeners, you have to follow Sam Will and
Yes.
stream on your favorite platform. Sam, what do you want to say to your new listeners when they listen to Speak album later?
I would say listen to it from top to bottom the whole way through if you can.
Mm.
Um, Find somewhere peaceful you can relax to listen to it, and I hope it brings people joy, comfort, and I hope people can relate to it and feel comforted by that, and also dance and cry and and a nice time. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Thanks.
Sam. I hope to. They have to listen to voice notes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sam, for sharing your story to the listeners of Bingkai Karya. And listeners, don't forget to stream on your favorite platform, voice notes, and also Speak album that will be released in October 3rd.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much, Sam.